to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, the podcast that I guess has been breaking down books so you don't have to. I'm your host, Patrick Keiser. This is, of course, brought to you by Heart on Main Street, which is a nonprofit dedicated to providing tools and resources to independent retailers and small businesses to help them thrive in their local communities. So if you were just joining, this is episode 3 in our series inspired by Thomas Nagle's The Strategy and Tactics of Pricing. I'm taking major concepts from the book and breaking them down into how they apply to independent retailers and small businesses. I encourage you to also read this book. Again, it's The Strategy and Tactics of Pricing by Thomas Nagle. Only you know your own situation, and how you will see things is different than how I will see things. Some things may stick out to me more than you, and I spend less time on what's important to you. So read the book as well, but I'm going to spend 10 episodes breaking down the big picture concepts of this book. In episode 1, we talked about this larger concept, the hidden power of pricing, how little changes in pricing can make a big difference to your overall revenue from the business. In episode 2, we explored why cost plus pricing, or often maybe keystone pricing, can make things difficult, and how you could use value-based pricing to capture the real value of what you offer. Today, we're going to take that idea one step further because not every shopper values you in the same way. Different customers have different perceptions of value and different willingness to pay. There's a quote in the book that says, "Value is always specific to particular segments of customers." And as indie retailers and small businesses, you can see lots of different segments of customers, whether it be like tourists and locals, or different age and gender demographics, or really people looking for themselves or looking for others, or they want bargains, or they want something fast. So you can narrow it down on these to understand, well, first, which products to bring in and how to market to them, but also how to price differently. So in this episode, we'll look at what customer segmentation looks like for independent retailers and how you can recognize the different types of customers that are walking through your door. And then we'll apply this to how you design prices and offers that can fit each group, and how to do that without confusing or alienating anyone, because ultimately we want to keep the customers and bring in more revenue, right? So let's look at why knowing your customer is the key to profitable pricing. It's book club time. A lot of independent retailers think that maybe they have one type of customer. If I were to ask you, who is your customer? There's a picture of someone in their head. But if you look closer, you'll see different segmentations even within that main picture of your customers. There could be the loyal local customers that are always loving you and your store and are coming in. There could also be bargain hunters who chase deals every time you have a sale. They're popping by. There can be people that are convenience seekers who want something fast, easy, no hassle shopping. And then also maybe those people that only but always come around the holidays and do their holiday shopping with you, that they don't spend all throughout the year, but when they do, they do some pretty big buying. Each of these groups values you for different reasons and has different price sensitivity. Nagle talks about pricing to the average customer ensures that no customer is truly satisfied. Thinking about customer segmentation allows you to align prices and offerings to each group's expectations. Now that doesn't mean, of course, that you charge 2 people different prices at the counter. That'd be crazy. It means that you make design choices that naturally appeal to different segments. So let's say a toy store has 3 different sizes of teddy bears. The small attracts price-sensitive buyers, or the parent that's picking up something quick or maybe to appease and doesn't want to spend a lot of money. The large attracts value seekers. It is something. It's a statement piece. It's maybe for a big milestone, and they would spend a little bit more. And then after that, the medium kind of just becomes the default. That's segmentation through structure. You could do this with candle sizes or even brands of clothing, sizes of cups of coffee, really anything. For Main Street retailers, segmentation means recognizing patterns in who buys what when, and why, and then tailoring your prices, promotions, and products around those insights. When you know your customer segments, you can stop guessing and then you can start designing. So let's look at 5 customer segments that are broad and generic, but also incredibly common. You're going to know your own customer base and look at how your customer segments are. But we can start with these and look at what their mindset is while shopping, what they value, and how then we can price accordingly to them. The first one I want to look at is that local loyal customer. These people are in and out of your store. They are your local town. Mindset's going to be more that they shop with you because of that relationship, the service, the trust that you have, that you've built over time, this relationship with that local loyal customer that's going to be coming in your store often. They value that consistency, that they know you, that you know them. There's that recognition when they walk in, that they feel connected to the community by coming into your store, that they feel a pride in shopping local when working with you. Because of that, you can raise prices a little bit. They love you. They're not going to run away just because you raise your prices a little bit, but you need to offer something back in return. You need to love on them like they love on you. So offer exclusive previews for things, member nights, or thank you bonuses instead of just blanket discounts to everybody. Give them a reason to not care about a price increase. There's also the bargain hunter. So the mindset that they have is that they love the thrill of a deal. There can always be comparison shopping between what you have and what somebody else has. They value discounts, clearance bins, reward programs, and any perceived savings that they can get. With this customer, you could try buy more, save more tiers, or things like loyalty points. Offer limited discounts. You never want to make discounts your identity, but you can use them tactically. Nagle talks about this. He says, price promotions should segment, not subsidize. So in other words, reward bargain hunters occasionally without training everybody else to expect them. Another type of shopper is the convenience seeker. The mindset of this type of buyer is quickness. They want to be in and out as quick as possible. They value things like speed, simplicity, reliability. They want to be able to walk into the store. They know right where to grab it. They can go from there right to the checkout counter and be out of there in record time. They would love to have the whole interaction take place in less than 2 minutes. When pricing for this customer, don't fear adding in a convenience fee. Oftentimes you're creating bundle or grab and go packs that takes time and effort to put together. You might be putting it right on the way to checkout so they can literally grab and go. That's taking up valuable floor space, that there's other products that could go there. So communicate the time saved, communicate the convenience of this, and you can add that into the value that you would charge for that product. Another type of shopper is the experience shopper. Shopping is an experience for them. They see it as leisure, as fun. They love ambiance of stores. They love the vibes. They love storytelling. They value the atmosphere of the store and the brands that you carry, the staff interaction that they have while in your store, things that can create Instagram-worthy moments for them. So in pricing to them, you can offer premium lines. You can have something maybe a little bit more elevated than other brands that you carry, because they're going to want to see these lines, or maybe it's a specialty line. You can curate whole sets of products that look good together, and maybe even look at limited edition items that they can only find at your store. Make the experience that you bring to this type of buyer the value that you bring to them, and not just the product itself. And then finally, we have the gift giver. This person is buying for others, not themselves. And so a large part of their mindset is that they fear making a bad choice. So they're going to value things like guidance, personalization, and the presentation of the product when they give it to the receiver of this gift. So with pricing for the gift givers, we can include value add-ons like free gift wrapping, curated gift bundles, or even personalization options for them. And so a higher price is going to feel justified because they're going to feel more certain that this is a good gift to give. So again, these are broad, generic categories of customers that will walk through your door at some point during the year. And you could even dive in and find more specific customer segmentation that is more applicable and more specific to your business. But the trick with all of this is to design offers and pricing options that speak to each segment naturally. So a boutique could run a loyal local appreciation night with early access to new arrivals, which would speak to that love local customer. And you could also offer small clearance rack to satisfy those bargain hunters. Both are going to feel seen and both pay prices that fit their expectations. So you might be thinking about, okay, I can maybe naturally segment some customers, but some, like, how am I going to identify which type of customers are coming into my store and be able to price things, be able to buy products? It's nice in theory to know about these types of customers, but how do I put them into these categories and know who is doing business within my store? Well, you don't need fancy software to segment your customers. You just need some curiosity. So one thing you could do is observe behavior. Watch what people are actually doing in your store. A lot of this that we're talking about, these customer segmentations, again, the broad ones, they're based on customer behavior. So which customers head straight to the sale section or the clearance display? Who lingers in chats for a while within the store? They're probably more of that experienced shopper. They want that interaction with the retail store. Who is asking for gift wrap or maybe even asking for product suggestions? They're going to be that gift giver category. So your behaviors that they demonstrate in store are going to be a lot more specific and provide a lot more knowledge than just the demographic, what you can see on the cover. You can also ask questions. Train your staff to ask casually, what brings you in today? What are you shopping for? Their answers are going to reveal their motives, and their motives are going to reveal that value. Once you know what your customers are coming in for, you can start to cater your products and your prices for those customers. And then mine your data. Your point of sale system holds a lot of clues for you. You just have to be able to analyze and dig into that. So you can look at the frequency that they come in, the average ticket price, the categories that are purchased, seasonality. You can break things down by when are people coming in, what types of products are they buying. And then when you're diving into that data and looking at your customers' buying history, you can tag patterns that you see. Like they frequently shop, but it's often small purchases, or they're big holiday spenders. You can also look online at social media comments, reviews, emails to show what customers appreciate most about your business. Look for words like easy, unique, friendly, or deal. Those are words that show what customers value about your store. And then finally, create simple profiles to summarize what you find. Bargain hunters, they're going to be shopping monthly. There's a low average order value, so they're not buying a lot at a time, or the price is not very high. They might be coupon or sales driven people. Your people that love to shop locally, they're going to be maybe coming in a little bit more frequently. They know the staff, they know the products within your store. Their average order value might be a little bit higher. They're probably not going to be going all the way to that clearance section. They're going to be looking around and finding what's new within your store. And then gift givers, they're going to be peak shopping times between November and December. They're going to be buying the high margin items. They don't come in often, but when they come in, they're going to be spending in your store. So you don't need to have spreadsheets for this, just a one-page cheat sheet you and your staff can understand, and that will help you start to segment and look at your customers a little bit differently. As Nagle notes, segmentation is the act of discovering differences that matter, and those differences are what allow you to design smarter pricing for your store and ultimately make more money. So we've been talking about establishing your pricing of your products based on value. We've also talked about customer segmentation and what each of those different customer segmentations do value. So now let's apply segmentation to pricing. The goal is to let each group self-select into the offer that fits their value perception. You don't tell people that they're in a segment. They reveal it by choosing those products themselves. So there are different ways of doing this. We could do this through a tiered option. So you offer a good, better, best levels of products. For example, a gift shop could sell candles, a small, medium, large, $18, $28, $38, something like that. The budget shoppers are going to take the $18 ones. The premium shoppers are going to take that $38 one, and you raise your average sale. This is known as versioning pricing. You have 3 different levels, a good, better, best, of a similar product. You could also do bundles. So bundle items increase the perceived value. A bookstore could offer a weekend read bundle that has a novel, a snack, a bookmark for $30. It might be $22 if you were to buy each item separately, but here you're adding in that convenience factor. So the convenience in the curation of this, that you've done this for them, justify paying that little extra money. They don't have to go around and look for the book and find the snack and find the bookmark. They can just grab one thing and probably based off of the book and understand that they get all of these extra things with it. You could also look at membership or loyalty pricing. So reward repeat buyers with early access to things. They get points, they get exclusive deals, they get their card punched. If they fill up their card, they get $10 off, they get 10% off the next time they come in, whatever you would like it. But you're offering benefits, not blanket discounts. Again, you don't want to be known as just a store that discounts. You'll start to train your customers to know, hey, after a certain amount of time, I can get this. If I just wait 2 weeks, I can get it on a discount. So you're giving your customers that are coming in often, that you're giving them more benefits to coming in. So this keeps that loyal local shopper happy. They get things for being a frequent customer of yours. You could also look at event and experience pricing. So offer ticketed workshops or VIP events for people who want that experience. They're going to pay for them. And a store could charge $10 for a play and create Saturday. It covers staff time, it deepens relationships, it gives that experienced person something to come in and do. If they have children, maybe it's something to entertain them as well. So you pay a ticket that you get access to this. You can also look at price anchoring. So place a high-priced option next to your regular one. Similar idea to the versioning pricing, but the premium item makes the standard one honestly look like a deal. A $90 handbag is going to sell more when there's a $160 bag sitting right next to it. And then you could also look at dynamic promotions. So instead of constant sales, you can tailor promotions seasonally. Maybe this looks like during back to school time, you're targeting those bargain hunters with bundles. During the holiday season, you focus on the gift givers with premium wrapping. Nagle writes that effective segmentation pricing gives customers choices consistent with their needs while preserving margins across the entire portfolio. And that's exactly what independent retailers can do. They can use choices, not price cuts, to serve everyone and maintain good margins. So I want to take this and look at segmentation in action and what this can look at different types of retail stores. So maybe you're a toy store and you notice that there's 2 clear groups: grandparents buying gifts and parents buying everyday toys. They can create 2 different experiences for those 2 different customer segments. There could be a gift finder wall with pre-wrapped toys, premium prices. Maybe also you bring in that gift wrap bundle, the card, being able to have extra things there to be able to grab the gift and go. There might also be an everyday essentials section with lower priced educational toys. It's the same store, but you're offering 2 different value propositions. Maybe you're a coffee shop and you could look at offering 3 different sizes of lattes or drinks. Just by natural customer psychology, most people aren't buying the small. So you could offer that large for maybe $1 more, or look at the margins, kind of whatever works. But a small increase can help nudge those customers from the profitable middle to that top section. So you're designing those tiers strategically in order to say, hey, it's not that big of a jump and I get this much more on top of that. A clothing boutique might notice that their locals love in-store events. Well, the tourists that visit your town might come to those events if they are there while the event is going on, but they're going to be looking more for like souvenirs and maybe not so much kind of everyday products that your locals would. So you could sell tickets to your event and maybe price them a little higher, but those locals get a loyalty reward. They get a discounted price because they've shopped with you so often. Tourists are going to pay the full price, but they get exclusives, the locals feel valued, and really both segments can grow. If you're a bookstore, you might look at having a readers club. Members pay $20 for the year for 10% off books and invites to author nights. The program can really pay for itself, and the members of that are going to spend more annually. So each of these examples really proves that segmentation isn't a corporate strategy, it's really a Main Street strategy. These are things that you can do in your retail store. So let's look at how to apply that starting this week using customer segmentation. So first thing you gotta do is identify your customer segments. Don't start with trying to identify 20 different ones. Let's start with 2 different main segments. Think about your last maybe 10 customers that have come into your store and bought things. Which are the 2 types that show up most often? Label them and list what do they value within your store. Try and create one tailored offer for these different customer segmentations. Design a small promotion, a bundle, or an experience just for one of those segments. Say, Locals Night or a Gifter's Guide as we're entering into the holiday season, and observe the response to that. And then review your price tiers. Do you give customers a choice between the good, better, and best? If not, test adding one higher value option, and you'll be surprised by how many choose that because of the perceived value with it. Remember, segmentation is about empathy. It's about seeing the world through your customers' eyes and meeting them where they see value. So that is it for episode 3 of our series on the strategy and tactics of pricing. Today, we looked at how no 2 customers are really alike, and pricing that treats them as one leaves profit and loyalty on the table. When you understand your segments and design offers that fit those needs, you stop discounting and you can start delivering value to them. Nagle tells us the essence of pricing strategy is to serve different customers differently. Later this week in episode 4, we're going to explore the psychology of pricing. So why the way prices look, sound, and feel can influence buying decisions more than just the number itself. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with other independent retailers and small businesses. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a quick review to help others discover the show. So that's it. Stay safe, shop local, and keep your heart on Main Street. This episode is written, produced, researched, and edited by me, Patrick Keiser, with a very special thanks to Thomas Nagle in his book, The Strategy and Tactics of Pricing, in stores now. For more information about Heart on Main Street, you can go to www.heartonmainstreet.org, and you can email us at contact@heartonmainstreet.org. Thanks. Bye.